Mr. Shekhar Suman, thank you for your time. At the time of Souvik Chakrabarty's arrest, you tweeted that this is a first step towards success. You said the small fish have been caught. Now it's time for the big sharks. The industry will be cleaned up. The caucus has been busted. The kingpins have been arrested. Amen. Today, are you satisfied with the way that the case is progressing? I ask you this because, you know, the NCP now claims that they're working towards uprooting this Bollywood drug citadel, bringing down big names. Yet, the two men who they first arrested, who they claim are the kingpins, they're out on bail because they had only about like 50 grams of marijuana on them.
Yeah, they had enough time to kind of obliterate all the evidences. It's been 2 months. The CBI and the NCB have moved in a tad bit too late, but that's okay. I think there is, I wouldn't say there is time to rejoice, but we are all very happy that at least the process has begun, and that's why we have to believe in this old adage that, you know, it's better late than never. I think the first act of the play is over. We have to get on to the second act, and it's just a matter of time when the final denouement would be there. Having said that, you know, there was a time that we were all groping in the dark, and we were disappointed the way things were going all over the place. The case, you know, meandered through nepotism and gangism and money laundering to pedophilia to rape parties to Disha Salian's murder and all of that, and then the fight between the state police, the Supreme Court finally ordering for a CBI inquiry. All of that, you know, it was a huge, long detour. But eventually, I think what I was pointing to was that we had to find just one. You have to crack one prime suspect, and that has happened. Even though, you know, what they're calling is a reverse investigation, that they have started off with the peddlers naming Souvik naming his own sister. And I think the sword of Damocles now hanging over Ria's head. And when it comes to pressure and, you know, being in custodial interrogation, I think that would lead to many evidences that were hidden hitherto.
But and are we truly out, no longer groping in the dark? I ask you this because you've been among the first who called for a probe into the case by the CBI, no less. You went to Bihar, you met his family. What has happened to, you know, hashtag justice for Sushant? What happened to the serious issues of mental health, those angles that needed to be raised? Money laundering probe. Initially, it was about money laundering, a case against Ria Chakrabarty that the family claimed that money had been laundered. That led to a complete dead end. Now, the NCB has actually opened up a new case. It's case number 16. It's not to do with Sushant Singh Rajput's death. Now, what about justice in that case? For his memory, for his fans?
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed. You know, if you carefully sort of peruse my tweets, and if you go through the tweets, you would see that there was a point that I was really sort of dithering to go on with this whole thing or not, because as I said, it was like going all over the place. It's getting scattered, and we were in a sort of a very nebulous space where we didn't know where this case was headed. And I mean, I started off like with hashtag Justice for Sushant Forum, and that's the reason precisely why I had gone and asked for political support. I tried meeting Nitish Ji, you know, the CM of Bihar. I got Tejaswi Yadav to kind of join hands with me and say he's supporting the cause. And then, you know, the case was progressing, and though there was procrastination from the Mumbai police's side, and we were all getting so worried what they were doing and why they were stretching it so far, and that's why the you know, we were more vociferous about you know, about our demand for a CBI inquiry, and that was going on. Suddenly it took a diversion, and suddenly it went somewhere else, and I was like, what is happening? This is not right, what is happening, because, you know, the prime focus has to be you know, on the motive behind the murder. The prime focus has to be whether this was homicide or suicide. I mean, I had contended that this appears like that, but that seemed to have probably taken a backseat somewhere. But I'm just hoping it's taken a backseat, but it's not sunk into oblivion. I mean, it's there, and I think I'm just like hoping against hope. As I said right in the beginning, it was every time we thought there was light at the end of the tunnel, it was yet another train coming. But this time, hopefully there is light at the end of the tunnel, which is the light which is going to lead towards the rest of the case.
Mr. Suman, like you said, so many trails meandering. One day it's one story, one day it's the other story. I don't know if you saw our report, but the Deputy Director General of the NCB, in this report filed by my colleague, says that normally cases like these with such small non-commercial amounts of drugs, ganja and marijuana, don't fall under our mandate. Is that not an admission that perhaps, this has just gotten out of control from, we dug up a mountain, nothing seems to have come out of it, a mouse, so somebody needs to be found and held accountable for this.
Yeah, so this hasn't ended. I mean, we are in the midst of all this, and we are just hoping that, let's not get disappointed. I mean, at least we got some clue, and I think this would lead on to, further investigation, people coming forward. I think one lead would lead to another, and hopefully that we'll stumble upon something which is far more incriminating than just a bit of marijuana.
Thank you for your time, Shekhar Suman. Thank you so much.